Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Claire?
Yeah, pretty good. Well, yeah, I'm okay, and I'm going to give you the word because it's relevant to how I'm feeling, and the word is sleep.
Sleep. Uh, well, what comes up for me first around sleep is it just dipped into sleep as in closing your eyes and resting. But really, what came up more is how, well, I've been waking up to more things this past week. I had a week off, spent a lot of time in the hammock, in nature. And what I became aware of, and to me it is like waking up to it, is that when I had this more an excessive amount of time for quiet, that there wasn't a lot to do at the campsite. I mean, there could have been, but there was nothing I had to do. There
Hmm.
was no things that I needed to do. I became aware of a lot of things that I wasn't clear on. So, in this idea of sleeping, I feel like I was inadvertently, unknowingly sleeping, unaware of a number of things that I thought I had a handle on. So, yeah, the first thing about sleep. And then let's talk about sleep. hmm. Two things come to mind. This was enough. This was before I came into the understanding of the three principles. And I remember going upstairs. We were on an acreage. I was downstairs. That's where our sort of big family room and TV room, that kind of thing, was set up. And I remember just saying, "I'm going to bed. I'm tired." And I was trudging, and it was like trudging up the stairs. And partway up the stairs, it's just like, "Am I tired?" And like I stopped on the stairs, and it's just like, "No, not really." And then all of a sudden, I my pace picked up, and up I went, and I went and did something. I didn't go to bed. I wasn't It was like I was in hindsight, much after, I saw that I used "I'm tired, I'm going to bed, I'm going" to gain space for myself,
Hmm.
where I got into a habit kind of this, yeah, I'm tired, I'm going to bed, I'm going to do this. But often I was up for way longer than when I said I was going to bed. And like Rob would often be in bed before me. And what I woke up to around this whole tiredness was, and this thinking that, yeah, I'm going to sleep, I was using it. I was just using it to gain some space for myself, where I could have just said, I'm just going to go do something, not even really sure what. I just need a little bit of space. And then I'll go like really to sleep now. I'm peri, is that after? I'm done.
Post.
Men post. I'm post menopausal. And that was just a wee little bit of hell at times. For like 8 years, like a really long time. And I still have different symptoms, but this sleep was something that was definitely affected. And I could handle like a couple of days, okay. But if I had 2 days in a row where I couldn't sleep, I'd be taking something the next time. I took CBD or THC. I tried both. THC actually worked better for me, where it's just like, oh, thank goodness, because I am not so nice when I don't sleep. And yeah, even understanding that, yeah, you're just experiencing your own thinking about everything. Yeah, true. And also, do you need some sleep, Claire?
Oh God, yeah.
It when you are exhausted, it weighs on you. It does. And it makes it, for me, it made it, I was more reactive because I just didn't have, everything was running on empty. So I didn't have the wherewithal to even, the best I could do was like stay away, back up, like give myself some space or give them some space. Yeah.
It takes a lot of self-awareness to do that, though, doesn't it?
Sure
Because I think
does.
if you're tired and you think the world works outside in, that's a catalogue for disaster, isn't it? I tend to give
Absolutely.
Bruce the heads up. I just kind of go, don't, just know I'm grumpy today, and that's just the way it is, And
Yeah.
he'll therefore be like, then we can make it a bit lighter because we're not kind of taking things, he tends not to then take it personally when I may be a bit snappy or grumpy or whatever.
Yeah.
But you do have to know, don't you, that that you aren't tired, which I am today.
Mhm.
It's like you, I mean, I think I can honestly say that since my children were born, and bearing in mind they are 23 and 21, I don't think I've slept a week of decent night's sleep since then. Like, it's been a long time when I've, there's been disruption to my sleep at some point or another. And when I was really stressed just before I burnt out, it was hell. That was proper hell. That was, if I got 5 hours, it was a miracle. Most nights I was getting like 3 hours sleep, and I was just because I was so wired, I just couldn't get to sleep. My head just wouldn't let me go to sleep. And it's still my head now. Still my head now that keeps me awake. But then the reason I wanted to talk about this today was I was lying in bed this morning at some silly hour, an hour at which I sometimes just give up and get up. So I think it was around 3, 4 o'clock, something like that. And I go to bed quite early, but sometimes at that time I just can't be bothered to try and get back to sleep. It just all seems like too much of an effort. And then I was lying in bed this morning, and I just kind of thought, well, what if it's just okay to be lying in bed awake? What if that's just okay? And what if I can just enjoy the warmth of the bed and Bruce lying next to me, and and being safe I'm in the motorhome at the moment, but I'm safe and comfortable, and I actually fell back to sleep, which doesn't, as I say, sometimes at that time in the morning my head is so busy, often just not in a kind of upsetting way, not in an anxious way, just excited. My head's always full of ideas of what to do, and what to write about, and what to say, and just things to do with my business quite often. But not horrible, just a lot of ideas. And I just kind of just let it be this morning. I didn't get too caught up in, oh, this is dreadful and I'm not supposed to be here and I should be asleep, and why can't I get back to sleep, and why can Bruce sleep through everything? And like where we were parked, there was a few lorries, and one of the lorry drivers, they set off ridiculously early in the morning. Yeah, oneself. I was already awake by then, but he said, "Oh, did you hear the lorry this morning?" Yes, I was already awake. You were. He heard the lorry, but I didn't know he'd heard the lorry because he obviously did wake him, but I was not aware he'd woken up because he's so
Wow.
back to sleep like that. So I do have sleep envy quite all the time. But it was just noticing that without, I guess, with everything, without the story that it's wrong, and there are a lot of stories about sleep, yes, we're both saying we're better off when we've had enough, and but there are a lot of stories, aren't there? There's a lot of stuff about, if you don't sleep properly, you're going to knock 10 years off your life. And, it can be quite a heavy subject, or that our own stories around, well, what am I going to do? I've got so much on today. How am I going to function if I don't get enough sleep, and all that kind of thing. And it's that really is the problem. It's not being awake. It's not waking up at a silly time in the morning. It's making that wrong, rather than seeing that it's okay. It's okay to be lying in bed awake.
Yeah.
And I just was really in, because quite often, as I say, I'll just get up. I just give up trying to go, or I'll read. I didn't need to read or anything. I just suddenly kind of realised I was waking up again. So I must have at some point fallen asleep. And it was like 6:30, which, Michaela, in my world, that's a lie-in. Many people would not call 6:30 a lie-in, but it is for me. So yeah, so it's just, I think the story around it can be massive. And I think the story can keep you awake.
Absolutely. And what's happening when what I, saw in that when you shared, and when you just like, oh, well, what if it's okay to just lie here? As soon as you let go of the fight or the struggle to stop or to resist what's happening, to resist what is, as soon as you just like, it doesn't mean you have to love it, but it's like letting go of the fight. It's just, it's kind of accepting what is, like lifting up your attention and putting it on something else. A couple of nights ago, I was up downstairs. We're on the upper floor. Went to the basement, and I was making, my son came back from being away for a while, and I decided I was going to tidy up some vacuuming and remake his bed, and just do some of those things. So yeah, it was and I don't know when I slept in the beginning, but I know I finally okay, I'm just going to get up and go do these things because they're on my mind. And I'm so wide awake. I have the energy. I could totally do it. It's not like I was, I'm so tired. I wasn't tired. I was wide awake. So I just went and did it. Crawled back in just after 3:30, and it was fine. It was fine. So
yeah, because there's a story, isn't there, that it looks like that it all should be 7 to 9 hours every night, and it should be in this hours, and if you get the hours before midnight, they're better than the hours after midnight. And like, there's all that stuff, isn't there, that I'm sure some very clever sciencey people have proved to be right, but they're not sometimes that helpful. It's all right if you're like doing that, like you are a 7 to 9 hours, and you do it mostly before midnight. I know that but if you're already struggling a little bit with it, and then you've got those stories saying, oh, you're doing sleep wrong, it's just one other thing that you're doing wrong in life. It adds a lot of pressure to it, doesn't it? Whereas if you just go, well, like I do sometimes when I'm awake at like 4:30 or something like that. Even on like a Sunday morning, I'll just get my laptop out and I'll do a bit of work. I'll do a bit of thinking about my business, or I'll do some contemplate. I'll just do something that I want to do. Bruce is still zedding it next to me, I like that. I kind of call that work-life integration, because yeah, I might sometimes work on a Sunday morning at 4:30, but then sometimes I'll have a nap on a Tuesday afternoon because that's what my body needs. And like tomorrow, I'm having a day off to go spend the day with my daughter. I like that kind of, and I like, maybe there's something about integrating sleep into our life, where how it works for us, rather than having all these rules about you shouldn't be up cleaning at 3:30 in the morning, should you? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, And I still think there's a lot of like rules about it that people
Mm,
like. If I say to people, "Oh, I get up at 4:30 in the morning sometimes on a Sunday and do some work," or I don't get up, I just do it on my knee in bed. They're appalled. Well, that's not good. You shouldn't do that. It's bad for you. Where are your boundaries? Or, you're going to burn. Because it's not understanding that our wisdom knows what's right for us in the moment.
mm,
And sometimes that might be that we're wide awake and full of beautiful ideas that we just want to get written down or do something about or clean a room or whatever, that
yeah.
there isn't. I mean, it'd be never cleaning for me, Michaela, I have to tell you. If I wake up inspired to do some cleaning, I shall wake Bruce and get him to wheel me off to the to a paddock cell somewhere, because that will be a sign that I've finally lost the plot. Because me and cleaning don't really have a relationship, to be fair. But yeah, it's seeing that it's all okay, isn't it? Without the stories, it's okay to be awake, lying in bed. It's okay to be cleaning at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's okay to be doing a bit of work on a Sunday morning at 4:30. Like, it's seeing that there's no wrong. It's when we wrongify things that we create the
Yes,
suffering.
absolutely. Yeah, that's really good. It brings up, because there's been 3 occasions where a friend of mine, she's gone away for like a month. So I was looking after her condo, and I actually moved my office there, and sort of so I would stay for a few days and then I'd come home for a few days, and it would just I my schedule was so different then, because I allowed myself the space to sleep, eat, work whenever I wanted. And it happened at various times of the day and the evening. There were a couple times where I got up in the middle of the night, not mostly, because if I wanted a nap at 4 p.m., I would have it. And then I might take a break and have a meal, or, watch a show or chill out or read something or whatever. And then I might be back at it at 9, going till whenever. But it was just this rhythm. And then the next day it would change. Like, it wasn't that there was this, fixed rhythm that came
Mm.
up. I mean, I also wasn't there long enough maybe to have that happen, but I noticed coming home, now that there's, when there's other people in the house and there's a bed, times when people are typically going to bed or waking up in the morning, or, the dog needs this or the cat needs that, that I'm adapting more to that rather than allowing all of this to adapt together. Like, do I need to do things at this time just because that's when? It's not that I'm going to take away family time for that. I'll be considerate of that. But there are times when, yeah, I want to come in here at 9. This is very interesting. It's just opening up something different. This whole idea about rules and just following your wisdom in whatever feels right. I'm really pretty good with, if I feel like, oh, I'm getting sleepy, feeling sleepy, it's like and I know when all my calls are in a day. So I'll know that it's like, oh, I'm just going to go have a nap, set my alarm for usually 20-25 minutes, does it for me. And then I'm like, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed again. But I'll do that, because it's like there's something in me that's saying I need that. And often there'll be something new that will come up that will be relevant for the next call or the next thing that I'm doing, or just clear my mind, the palette of my mind, to be in a different place for what's next. Mm.
Mm. I love what you're saying there about. I mean, I think that's good self-care. Is this, like, for me, when I was first learned about self-care as a thing, that it was all about rigidity and routines, and you've got to have boundaries, and you've got to, you have to do a morning ritual and you've got to do an evening ritual, and it's all very kind of timetabled and tight. And for me, just like you're saying, to me, good self-care is just listening to what this body is saying to me. What does it need? You know, is there a heaviness around my eyes? Is there a headache? Is there just a need to go to the loo? I mean, I'm a so-and-so for just like trying to finishing a job instead of just going to the blinking loo, you know. And it's realizing that the bodily wisdom is present. It's right for now, rather than the head, which is all about what it should look like and what the rules are and how, you know, how we're supposed to be doing things, as opposed to how the body just kind of nudges us here and there to go and do the next thing that's good for it.
Yeah.
Whether that's eat, drink, sleep, work, not work, rest, whatever, walk, you know.
Mhm.
Or just like
Mhm.
pushing your back because you've got a little bit of a twinge there because you've been sat down too long, or get up and move about. You know, it's all the time. It's just giving us these little nudges, isn't it, to help us
Absolutely.
to navigate through life, but we just don't listen to it as much as we maybe would be helpful. Thank you.
Agreed.
That went on a lovely little path, didn't it? It's
Yeah,
good.
that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
That was lovely.
Mhm.
And thank you, listeners, for being there too.
You betcha. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, you too.